Why are Jews so hated? Why have Jews been thrown out from so many countries? Why have Jews for almost 4,000 years been so persecuted? Don't you understand? It must have to do anything about the Jews. Not all the other people can be wrong. Or,
There is something about Israel that makes people uncomfortable, and it is not what they say it is. They will point to politics, settlements, borders, and wars. But if you scratch a little beneath the layer of anger, you will discover something deeper. Discomfort. Not with what Israel does, but with what Israel is. Writes the British editor. A country so small shouldn't be so strong. Period. Israel has no oil, no extraordinary natural resources, a population the size of a medium-sized American city. It is surrounded by enemies, hated by the United Nations, attacked by terrorism, condemned by celebrities, boycotted, vilified, attacked, and yet it thrives like there's no tomorrow. In the military, in medicine, in security, in technology, in agriculture, in intelligence, in morality, and in an uncapturable willpower. They turn a desert into a blooming field. They produce water from the air. They intercept missiles in midair. They rescue hostages from under the noses of brutal regimes. They survive wars that were supposed to destroy them, and win. The world sees it and fails to understand. So they do what people do when they encounter power. They don't have the tools to understand. They assume it's a fraud, that it's thanks to American aid, that it's thanks to a foreign lobby, that it's because of oppression, that it's thanks to theft, that it's some dark conspiracy that gave the Jews such power, that it's blackmail, because God forbid that it's something else. God forbid that it's real. God forbid that they deserve it. Or worse, that it's fate. The Jewish people were supposed to disappear a long, long time ago. This is how the history of persecuted, enslaved, and hated minorities is supposed to end. But the Jews did not disappear. They returned home. They rebuilt their country. They revived their language. And they brought their dead back to life, with memory, identity, and power. This is not normal. This is not political. This is biblical. There is no secret code that explains how a people returns to their land after 2,000 years. There is no rational path from poison gas to global influence. And there is no historical precedent for someone surviving the Babylonians, the Romans, the Crusaders, the Inquisition, the pogroms, and the Holocaust. And still coming to work on a Sunday in Tel Aviv. Israel is irrational. There is a war, and the Israelis are doing everything to return to it. Israel is not rational, unless you believe in something beyond simple arithmetic. And that's what's driving the world crazy. Because if Israel is real, if this ancient, hated, impossible nation is truly chosen, protected and thriving, maybe God is not a legend. Maybe he's still part of the story. Maybe history isn't random. Maybe evil doesn't have the last word. Maybe the Jews are not just a people, but a testimony. And this is what people cannot bear. Because if they admit that Israel's survival is not just impressive, but divine, everything changes. The moral conscience must be readjusted. The assumptions about history, about power, about justice, collapse. They understand that they do not see the end of an empire here, but the beginning of something eternal. So they deny it, they slander it, and they are angry about it, because it is easier to call a miracle a fraud than to admit that God keeps his promises. Yes, he keeps them. Alistair Heath concludes the article and reveals the truth behind the hatred.